And now for something completely different. We're at Spa for the Bikers Classic. It's one of those events that I've been invited to on and off for the years, but it's Clash with BSB or Goodwood or something. I've always wanted to come here. It's basically like a love fest for all classic bikes, right through from 20s, 30s, right up to 80s, sort of modern retros. And it's a visual feast, it's an oral feast, 2 strokes, racing bikes. It's just perfect for the motorcycle lover. And this year is a bit special as well, because this year I'm very honoured to be part of Team Classic Suzuki. I'm riding the Katana that Guy Martin rode here 2 years ago. And although Guy Martin isn't here, he pulled the plug last week. He's going to Skerry, he decided he's going to go to Skerry. So I'm riding with Richard Stedman, Danny Webb and Pete Boaster on the 750. So this is going to be a weekend to remember. Now, this is not just any 4-hour endurance race. It's a who's who of world champions, ex-world champions, ex-GP riders, endurance riders, and then me. So the lineup is exquisite. We got Stefan Mertens, we got Henk van der Mark, which is Michael van der Mark's dad. There are so many good riders here, and me. So yeah, can't wait to get started.
You had a good fun time.
I had a big fun time. Yeah, it was. I mean, let's get out of the way. The first session on Thursday in practice, I went out and I was wobbling around thinking, what the hell am I doing here? I mean, this is a bike. She's a big old girl. It weighs way more than a quarter of a ton. And
really?
It's not designed to go on track.
Wow.
It's never designed to go on track. And I was riding around, my first warm-up lap, first flying lap, went into the chicane. I was like, yeah, bury it on my knee. I went, nearly lost the front, caught it on my knee, did the same with the hairpin. I came in thinking, no, there's something wrong with it. There's something wrong with it. He said, no, you can't ride it like a normal bike. You have to just nurture it through slow corners. Fast stuff, it was immense. It's massively long, it's big, heavy, grounded, but as soon as you get to a slow corner, you cannot put your knee down. You just have to sort of like, you can feel it going, around the corner, oh, back up. But yeah, practice, it took me, so we had practice on a Thursday, Friday qualifying 1. My teammate Richard Stedman, who isn't exactly a household name, you know, he's done Supersport, British Supersport, he's done FIM World Endurance. He's handy, he's a pretty handy rider. But I was still a few seconds off him thinking, there's a great deal of pressure as well, because this is Team Classic Suzuki. This isn't a little team rocking up and having a bit of fun.
No, it's factory.
It's factory. It's factory backed. And I was a factory rider for the weekend. But yeah, like I said, it was an immense amount of pressure.
Do you think they regretted that?
I don't know, you'll have to ask them. But yeah, there was an immense amount of pressure thinking, I can't just ride around, I've got to go and put a decent performance in.
Yeah.
And after a week at Glastonbury, and then getting straight onto Eau Rouge was a little bit spicy.
What a come down.
Yeah, what a come down. Yeah.
Maybe that's where those 2 seconds were.
Yeah, just lying around. But
back in the pyramid stage.
But yeah, so Friday qualifying 1, I was still a couple of seconds off, but it felt more comfortable. I figured out how to ride it. But it undoes 30 years of riding experience. So everything you know about riding, you just go, right, take that out.
Put it in a box.
Put it in a box, and I'll put the day that I've ridden it so far in there, and I'll figure out how to ride it. It was so different. You had to do all your braking in a straight line. You couldn't trail brake, otherwise you'd crash. But the brakes are so good. That's what surprised me.
But it's a modified bike.
It's
right?
heavily
So
modified.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
That's all right, Alistair. Good to have you on board.
Thank you, mate. So this Katana, I mean, it's yes, it's a Katana, but it's far from standard.
Yeah.
So what's the crack then? We've got Maxton suspension on the rear.
Yeah, we've got Maxton rear shocks, obviously forks, a bit heavily modified,
Yeah.
not obviously. They're like bandit forks but altered.
Yeah.
So a little bit
Okay.
later forks. The actual chassis is standard, but the steering head angle's been slightly altered.
Right. For racing.
Yeah, just to
Yeah.
make the thing turn a little bit easier.
Yeah.
You know, remember the old days, the boys had the black steering head angle a little bit further out. Well,
Yeah.
now we need to steepen it up,
Yeah.
get the thing to turn, raise the rear. Obviously, an alley swinging arm, which is
What is that swing arm?
well, it's one that's been made by Nathan, to be honest.
Oh, is
So,
it?
yeah, it's his own deal, and he's done a cracking job. So
Yeah.
it's a beautiful bit of engineering on that.
I mean, braking wise, those brakes are, I know we talked about off camera, those brakes are so good. How it
Yeah.
stops way over a quarter of a ton of metal
Yeah.
is beyond me. And the way, it's just, they feel as good as anything I've ever tried.
Yeah, can you imagine what standard Katana brakes would be like?
Well, we'd
in
be,
the day,
we'd be in the hotel, wouldn't we? Up
you
the
would
road.
be in the
Yeah,
hotel,
yeah.
but you know what? They've obviously got remote Brembo's massive on. The thing's going to stop on the sixpence,
Yeah.
you know. And for a big piece of weight, that is pretty
Yeah.
cool, isn't it? It seems like the brakes are far better than the actual. Well, it feels like you're on a modern bike, doesn't it?
Oh, exactly. You know, every time I've gone out, I haven't done a lap yet where I've been absolutely comfortable with my braking zones.
that's
Because
the
I know I can brake a few metres later every time.
Yeah.
So talking about Go, what about the engine? That is, it's. I know you warned me a while before I rode it, but that thing is fast. I think it's one of the fastest bikes out there, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's obviously bored out even further.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it's over 1300cc now.
Right, okay, I didn't know that.
And flat slide Mikuni carburetors, flow head, different valves. You know, the crank's widened, there's gearboxes, Nova gearbox in it. So yeah, it's not inside, it's pretty well like new really, but it's old out on the outside. I mean, the original crankcases and
Yeah.
obviously the head's original, barrel's original, but you know, obviously loads of modification. That's the only downside. I mean, you've got old crankcases trying to hold this thing together at 150 plus horsepower. You know,
So that's what it's making, 150 plus.
yeah. So it's just like mega horsepower.
Have we got a bigger tank?
We have got a bigger tank. It's a alley tank as well.
Yeah.
So a little bit lighter, quick filler in it.
Yeah.
Although we've had a few. That tank, I'm not kidding. That tank's been. It's like Trigger's brain. It keeps coming back again. It just keeps changing. Like that's it's been in about 4 crashes that time. It's still here, so it's a pretty good tank. But yeah, it's good. It's managed. Well, it had sprung a leak, didn't it?
It's had a few leaks. Yeah.
But
We're good to go.
yeah,
We're good to
yeah,
go.
yeah, good to go now, boy. So, yeah, it's, I think it's 23 litres, something in it, like that, I reckon, in it. So, yeah, you'll be good to go. Yeah. So,
Right, let's go racing then.
All right, let's go racing, yeah.
But then qualifying 2 came, and I think we were 16th. So the way it works, qualifying, you have the combined times of your 2 riders. So it's not the fastest time. And thankfully, me and Steady, by the time qualifying 2 came, we were bang on the same pace. We were doing 51s, 52s. And we were 16th after qualifying 1. And after qualifying 2, I came in, you have a little break, and then Steady went out, and the bike wasn't running right.
So you broke it?
I didn't break it, no. Well, I don't think so. The boys stayed up all night, that Friday night, all night, trying to fix it, and they solved it at 2:30 in the morning.
What was it?
So the head had basically, all the nuts, the head nuts, bolts, had untorqued themselves because of the power, and the head gasket had gone, and the piston had hit one of the spark plugs. So they figured out what it was, they stripped it, figured it out in the morning, and went out and warmed up, and it was running lovely, absolutely lovely. Steady went out, I went out straight afterwards, we had 20 minutes, and we had sort of split it between us. And then of course, the race came, 4 hours of Spa, which is just, you've never been into it, have you?
I'm desperate.
It is absolutely, when the sun's out, there's no other place like it.
I've always wanted to ride Spa, but it's just that weather thing, because it always seems to be damp.
Yeah.
Not that I'd still ride it in the rain just to go through and go,
Yeah.
I've ridden Spa, but on a bike, I can imagine it's pretty dodgy.
It's quite intimidating. It's a really intimidating place. I mean,
Because what was it? It was dry for qualifying.
it was dry all weekend.
Right.
All weekend.
Including the race.
No, this is it, unfortunately. So, the forecast was dry Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. No problem. About half an hour before the race, it pissed down. It absolutely pissed down. And you're not allowed wets. So we put some sort of touring tyres on the spare wheels. So just in case.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I said, it's quite an intimidating place. The walls are really close. You know, as you go down Eau Rouge, you can feel it. It's wide and it tunnels and it funnels you in, and you're thinking, ah! It's a bit of a panic as you go in. But yeah, so half an hour before the race started, it rained, and it rained pretty hard. Danny Webb, thanks for joining us. Bit of a last-minute call-up, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, last Saturday I'd done the Classic Suzuki track day at Cadwell, and Tim mentioned to me that the guy might not be coming because he's not shown up to any this year. So he just asked me if I'd be up for doing it, and I said yes, you know, of course, as long as it was all right with Steve, because I was parading his bikes here for the GP parades, and as long as it was all right with my World Endurance team, then yeah, I was up for it.
So you've done, obviously, you know, you were the last two-stroke pole position holder in GPs. You know, you've done a fair amount of short circuit stuff now. What's the attraction with endurance racing?
I just, you know, I like to try and help people, and you know, as a team, me, Sheridan and Michael all bounce off each other, and we're all, you know, when one of us is struggling, we all try and help each other, and it's just a fantastic atmosphere in the team. And you know, I don't know if it'll be the same with another team or not, but the actual racing side of things, I really like it. And you know, when you get out there and get in the zone, it's just a fantastic feeling when you can get in that zone and carry on going and going and going.
I'm struggling to do like 10 laps in 25-degree heat, and you have to go to places like Suzuka, and our statement was like 35 degrees, and you've got to do 45 minutes an hour stints at a time.
Yeah.
What about the Suzuki then? How about the little 750? You enjoying it?
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's, you know, it's a fantastic bike. We've not touched it since we've been here. Suspension-wise, just kept everything the same, and yeah, we know we're lacking a bit of speed compared to the RC30s, but it is what it is. It's endurance racing. It's not all about speed. So we got the thing handling well, and we're doing the right times on it. So I think we just get into the race and see where we end up.
Just quickly then, we're a few hours away from the race start. Give me some tips for endurance racing. What's the crack?
Just don't go out and push like mad. You wear yourself out. Just get yourself in a rhythm. If it's a second off your lap time for qualifying, or the second half off it, don't really matter. Just keep consistent. Try and pass people sensibly, but you know, quickly as well. Don't sit behind them too long, and just you got to get past them as quick as possible. But yeah, I would say just get yourself into a rhythm and find that rhythm, and you'll be all right. Just don't wear yourself out. That's the main thing. The first stint, don't go out and push like mad, because you'll be knackered for the rest of it. So yeah, just step by step, and you know, find your rhythm, get into it, and stay calm as possible. Pit stops again, stay as calm as you can. Cause if you start panicking, that's when things go wrong, and you'll be going out of pit lane when you've messed it up, and you'll be like, oh, fuck that one up, you know. But yeah, you've got to just stay as calm as you can, and just take it as it comes, really. You know, if there's a problem with the bike, I'm sure these guys will get on top of it and fix it. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's be a good race, be good fun. Be hard.
Yeah, that's what I'm scared of. It's going to be hard. Yeah. All right, let's give it a go. Cheers, mate.
Spot on.
So I've just found out, Steady's on the bike now, he started. I've just found out my first stint is going to be an 18 lapper, which is 52 minutes in the saddle. The most I've done on the bike so far is 6 laps, so I'm a little bit scared. Hi, Danny.
Hiya.
wondering why I'm drinking beer and we're not even halfway through the 4-hour race. Well, Steady came into the pit shaking his head, and it sounds like the Katana's terminal. So it's the joys of classic bike endurance racing, I guess. I didn't know it was so brutal, but it is. Until the next one. I was really nervous. I can't remember the last time I was that nervous about riding a bike. It was, like I said, there's a lot of pressure. I'd never done an endurance race before. I didn't want to let everyone down. And the thing is with endurance racing, this sort of team endurance racing is, it's not just you. It's not just you and the other rider. There was 12 guys there, 12 crew, who'd busted their balls, cooking food, fixing the bike, everything. And it was down to us. And the race started in the wet, and Danny had a 15-second lead after like 3 or 4 laps. Incredible. I think they qualified 8th or 9th, but the wet obviously suited Danny, and the tyres and everything else kind of worked with them. Steady on our bike, on the Katana, was up to 5th, first in class. It was all looking immaculate. Like everyone was so excited. There was a real buzz. And then half an hour, Danny went missing. And then he came into the back of the pits, all everywhere. And I was thinking, right, okay, so I've got a few minutes left. The pit board went out to bring Steady in. I was ready to go in the pit lane, and then Steady came in, shaking his head. I was thinking, oh, something not right here. Stopped, and the bike was making a pretty nasty sound. So that was it. That was it. Terminal. So my wish of racing at Spa, I thought was going to happen this weekend.
We kind of did.
I didn't race. I didn't turn a competitive lap.
Well, we should go back next year.
Definitely.
I'd love to do it.
Yeah?
And I'd love to do any. I think we should do an endurance.
We should do.
Race.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
There's
we could do like 1 lap each.
have
a break.
Have a break. Yeah.
Get a burger in.
Yeah.
Have a couple of cans, and
yeah.
There you go. The classic endurance racing, is it still competitive, or is it just a load of old rich people with a load of money going, this isn't my old slab side, and I'm going to race it at Spa?
There's certainly an element of that, but I think that's a very small percentage. Most of these guys.
So it's proper.
Oh, it's proper.
Yeah.
It's. There's a lot of old boys out there. I mean, there's, I said, Henk van der Mark, which is Michael van der Mark's dad. Stefan Mertens, legend, superbike legend. Al Fagan. There was French national superbike champions, riders. There was Spanish, French, Italian. I mean, it was just a proper grid. And of course, you have some slower riders, sure, but it's, I think, gone are the days now where it's just a bit of fun. You're not here for a shit and a shave. It was a proper hardcore race. And a lot of these, as I said on social media the other day, a lot of these guys, it was just as suicidal as a junior superstar race. It was bonkers. You know, because the Katana was so powerful, you go past them on the straight and they weren't quite as good in the corner. Well, this bike wasn't quite as good in the corner. So I was like braking past them thinking, yeah, and they come back around the outside of you. And I was like, it was proper racing. It's not, you know, you're not there for a bit of fun.
Cool.
Well, you are, but it's not just a bit of fun.
So we just got to think about what bike to do it on.
RC30.
That's
those
the puppy,
RC30s are the puppies. There's no, I mean, the gap is seismic. Everything else, I mean, there was only, I think, there was a couple of other Suzuki's GSXRs that were there or thereabouts, but in terms of raw pace, if you can get an RC30 to last a race, they're the ones.
Who won it in the end?
An RC30.
There you go.
It was Stefan Mertens' nephew won it. So he's got a bit of pedigree. He's got some minerals. Yeah. Inherited genes, that's what I was looking for, yeah. Yeah. So I've got to say a massive thank you to Team Classic Suzuki and the B&B motorcycle guys, and obviously Suzuki GB for sort of putting me up for the ride. You know, the 12, 13, 14 guys and girls, because I don't forget Fiona, Paul, who, I mean, again, this is just a worthy point, is the Fiona, who I met on the Wednesday before practice day, she's like, oh, I'm here to do the food, I do the food. I was like, hey, okay, brilliant. But that feeding an endurance team all day and all night, essentially, is a vital part.
Well, it's a massive part of keeping the riders alert.
Exactly.
And if you're not eating right, then...
Exactly, and the timing had to be perfect just before we went out for sessions and the race and everything.
So what was it, like potato waffles?
Oh mate, there was salads,
dinosaur chicken shapes,
pasta salad, yeah, sausage and beans, hoops.
I'm definitely doing it.
Yeah. But
Alphabeti spaghetti.
Yeah. But yeah, everyone, it's a massive, massive team job, and for the first time, really, I appreciate it this weekend. And yeah, massive thanks to those guys, and hopefully be back soon.
See you next year.
See you next year.